a very warm welcome to everyone out there. Myself, Joya Khan, Ambassador of Change from GETI, and your host for this live session. Heralding the dawn of a new era and holding the beacon of success, I bring greetings from the entire GETI fraternity, that is, the Global Education and Training Institute. And as we usher in winds of change, to steer this session ahead, I warmly welcome our esteemed speaker on this live forum of Detox for Educators, Ms. Geeta Dhull from Gurgaon. Ma'am will be condensing her thoughts on importance of body language in teaching. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank
A
you.
little about ma'am. She was born and brought up in Delhi and had her schooling in Mount Carmel and is the wife of an army officer. Her early marriage did not extinguish her passion for learning. So, she did her master's and professional degree and took up teaching as a profession. Soon, this profession also became her passion, and she has devoted 18 years to this profession of teaching. Now, she is a certified image consultant and trains, helps, and guides people on their grooming, appearance, behavior, communication skills, etc. etc. She also won the crown of Mrs. India as a runner up in 2018. She also conducts workshops for teachers, principals, students, and corporate employees. So, a very warm welcome to you once again, ma'am. And ma'am, I
Thank you.
think, knows best what positive body language is all about, especially so in a classroom, which has the ability to motivate, inspire, and engage the students. And I hope you'll agree with me, ma'am, when I say that it not only gives you
Absolutely.
the confidence you need to teach, but it also reassures your students that you actually know what you are talking about. The students also know that the teacher is, smart, confident, and knows her topic well.
Yes,
Body
absolutely,
language
ma'am.
can be very truly defined as a non-verbal, powerful form of communication that
Yeah.
every individual expresses with his or her gestures, attitude, sometimes facial expressions. And we not only
Absolutely.
react and respond positively or negatively to the spoken words of an individual, but also react to their body language. So, without much ado, over to you, ma'am, for the session.
Thank you so much, and good evening to everyone. And it's a
Ma'am, I
great
request
honor.
you, I request you, ma'am, to please share your screen for the PPT also. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And it's a great honor to be on this platform of Global Education Training Institute. It's indeed a great pleasure for me. So, before I start my topic on body language in teaching, I just want to tell everyone that appearance or your image is very important. Everyone creates image, you, me, everyone, because image is an important part of human existence, and our image stays in the minds of the people when they meet us personally, socially, or professionally. Now, appearance and body language both are important for an individual because they create positive impression on others. How we project ourselves to others is very important. The way we care and carry ourselves, the clothes we wear, our personal style, our body language, etiquette, behavior, mannerism. These are non-verbal communication that we do daily with people, and this is what stays in the mind of the people. You must have noticed many times, when we meet people, we often forget their names, but we do remember their image because image stays in the minds of the people. Now, in a classroom teaching, teacher's image has a great impact on the learner's opinion, and this impact can create either positive or negative type of educational atmosphere in the classroom. The teacher's appearance and her body language set an image, a tone for the students to react and behave accordingly. Their behaviors about their teachers are based on the image teachers project to the students. Child mind is very impressionable. They perceive their teachers very minutely. They judge them and observe them. And based on these observation and judgment, they form impressions about their teachers. And their behavior also depends on the impressions they have formed about their teachers. So, if the teachers can learn to understand and practice proper dressing and appropriate positive body language, she can expect to have a proper relationship with her students, because the ability to look confident, capable, trustworthy, and an authoritative figure largely depends on the teachers. Now, they say actions speak louder than words. You must have heard this many times, but it's time for you to reiterate it. Let us first understand what body language is. As Joya Ma'am has said, that is its non-verbal yet powerful form of communication that an individual expresses through his gestures, his facial expression, movements, and we do react to the body language, and we do respond to the spoken words. Body language involves a host of non-verbal cues, signs such as facial expressions, hand movements, your body gestures, and tone of voice. Reading these cues is an important part of communication, because body language helps us to understand and decode what the other person is saying. It also assists us to interpret the other person's mood and emotions. Apart from all these, it enhances our conscious understanding of people's reaction to what we say and how we say. Words have the power to create the substantial impact on the listener. However, body language is considered to be more influential and impactful. We do remember our school days, don't we? And we do remember our teacher. And the teachers are the important part of any education system. We had some favorite teachers. We had some not so favorite teachers also. The way they used to walk, talk, carry themselves, their facial expressions, their gestures, everything we do remember. So, what are the qualities we still remember about our favorite teachers? Was it because they were lenient with the homework? Or was it because they taught us our favorite subject? And it simply cannot be because they taught us with absolute excellence. These teachers, it's because these teachers did not essentially need blackboard and classroom to teach. Their mere presence made us feel good and we wanted to learn more. A simple smile, an approving nod, and a pat at the back, made us feel confident. That boosted our confidence and they encouraged us. Expertise in teaching and using appropriate techniques to do so is definitely a prerequisite of being an effective teacher. However, body language of the teacher too plays an important role when you are teaching in the class. The appropriate body language of the teacher in the class setting has the ability to motivate, inspire, and engage her students. If you look at the figure, 7%, yes, 7% is how much speaking impacts the students. The other 93% is attributed to non-verbal communication. Part of 93% is the voice, your tone, modulation, how you speak, your pitch, how loud you are, how soft you are, modulation, and the rest is your body language. A teacher's body language has a strong, everlasting impressions on her students. Therefore, it is a need of an hour to effectively use this body language in the class, because words can be made up, so it is not unusual to be skeptical about what is being said. But body language, on the other hand, will almost always be taken at face value. And hence, body language plays a positive role, not in the classroom teaching, but in shaping the student's character also. This is because students often respect their teachers, they imitate their words and actions, sometimes subconsciously. Therefore, teachers should understand the body language correctly and masters the method and principles of body language ably. The successful teacher blends both verbal as well as non-verbal communication skills in establishing a good relationship with her students, and this has a direct correlation to students' achievement. The most important thing is the most effective and engaging communication occurs when the importance of body language in teaching is correctly acknowledged by the teacher. And when these nonverbal cues are in complete sync with our verbal ones, it creates a strong communication synergy. The power of body language, it is a super tool the teachers have with them. The importance of this can be understood from the fact the students feel safe, confident enough to participate and get engaged in the lesson you teach them. It is what teacher feels from inside that is shown through her gesture. Therefore, it makes sense to use it for improving your class management. Educators wear many hats on daily basis. They're teachers, they're cheerleaders, shoulder to cry on, soother of bumps and bruises, coach, and so many. And most important is they are public speaker. And as an effective public speaker, teacher knows that the body language plays a major role in how your message is received and remembered by your students. Postures, hand gestures, facial expressions, tone of voice impact learning more than anything else. In fact, body language registers in human brain instantly, even when we are not consciously aware of it. It enhances some of other roles of the teachers also. It can convey trust to your students, safety, warmth, and connection. Now, some tips the teacher can use her body language to connect with the students. She can use to engage her students. She can read other people, students' body language also. She can boost her confidence and the confidence of the students also. Smile, eye contact. So, I'm going to talk about how body language can be used by a teacher to connect with her students. Now, experts advise using open body language to connect with students is very important. Crossing arms, appearing guided or closed off shows that you are not approachable. Similarly, avoid standing behind the desk or any other barrier. This signals the teacher does not want to connect with the students. So the best way is relax yourself, smile, make eye contact to send the message to the students, I care for you. Teachers should show interest in her students by nodding and leaning slightly forward when they speak. So throughout the day, try to stay aware of your facial expressions. Regardless of the words you say, your face sometimes conveys a lot. Next is body language can be used to engage your students. If the teacher is excited what she's going to teach in the classroom, the students will be excited too. Animated facial expressions, varied tone of voice, and the use of hand gesture conveys enthusiasm and makes the lesson more engaging, more interesting, and more memorable. There's one psychology professor, Stephen Ceci. He experimented with how body language can impact his student evaluation. So he scripted one of his courses so the verbal content remained the same, the identical. In one class, he used just a boring standard body language. And in other class, he varied his voice of tone. He emphasized the topics or his important points with the facial expressions, with his body movements. And the result was CC received higher ratings from the students in the expressive class in every single areas. Using expressive body language engages students and makes teacher and her lessons more memorable. So, as I said, your body language is the secret superpower you have with you. Now, body language can boost your confidence. Under this comes your posture and fronting. Now, one has to Practice good posture. Teacher with slumped shoulders and lethargic movements display lack of confidence. By practicing good posture, teacher will automatically feel confident. And when a confident teacher enters the classroom, she looks well prepared, more knowledgeable, and she has full control over her classroom. So keep your posture straight, keep head up, and make eye contact. You'll make a positive impression instantly, and you will feel more alert and empowered. Because all teacher wants to educate and lead with confidence. A confident teacher is a teacher the student can trust that they are being guided in the right directions. Research in health psychology shows that participants who sit straight and stand straight, they are reported to have higher self-esteem and better moods. The great posture people describe their moods as strong, enthusiastic, excited, whereas the poor posture counterparts use descriptors like passive, dull, sluggish, nervous, and sometimes hostile. Another practice related to posture is called fronting. Fronting means aiming your torso and your toes towards the person, and here it is your class. This helps you to look confident, charismatic, and focused. Feet pointing towards someone is generally a good sign of mutual attraction or interest. Body language to manage the classroom. This is very, very important. And in this, here comes the proximity. Proximity going towards the student. Proximity is a powerful classroom management tool. If you sense that a student is disengaged, move closer to the student. Often your proximity signals to the student that, yeah, it's a time to come back to the task. If the student is disengaged because they don't understand the material, the teacher can provide the help to them and can help the student to get back on track. Proximity control also preserves a student confidence. Being yelled at in front of the peers can be devastating to a student. Proximity control redirects students in a respectful way. When students feel that they are being respected by their teacher, they automatically will like to behave in a respectful manner in the classroom or in the school. And teacher can use this as an opportunity to access all students. So proximity control encourages a teacher to stand near to a talkative student to get him back to the work. Reading student body language. Reading body language in the class is as important as your body language. So paying attention to the body language of the student provides teacher the important information, allowing her to be a responsive teacher who can adjust or who can alter her lessons on the spot, reminding the student that the teacher is approachable and she cares for them and she helps them to grow. Body language can help you to recognize that the student is stressed, tired, upset. Use this knowledge to understand which students need extra care, extra help, extra encouragement, and your patience. Look at your students' eyes. Are they dull or unfocused? Are they focused on the floor, wall, or ceiling? So that means the students are not paying attention. However, if the student is sitting straight and maintaining an eye contact with you, that means the child is attentive in the class. At the same time, look at the facial expression of the children. Your students' facial expressions will reveal a variety of emotions and thoughts, from anger to interest to happiness. As you make contact with each student, pay attention to what their facial expressions are telling you, and immediately you can alter the way of teaching. If the student mouth is turned down and their eyes are dull, maybe they are feeling bored. If the student has an indifferent expression on his face, they may be bored and simply biding time until you let the class leave for the day. But if a student is alert, sitting straight, smiling at you, or half smiling, they're most likely responding well to the class. Evaluate their posture. Are they slouched over the desk? Perhaps they may be trying to fall asleep, or they are trying to stop themselves from sleeping. A student who is paying attention would be sitting up, whereas students who are bored or disengaged may be slouching on the desk. So you can help perk up your students by moving around the class. Just tell them the short story or anecdote, or crack a joke, or maybe you can give them some breather time, and you can ask them to drink water. Watch their arms. Students' arm will tell quite about them, how they are feeling about the teacher instructions, how they are feeling being in the classroom, and individual moods. Look at each student arms and then look at the whole class. Same manner. If the folded arms indicate that the student is closed off and not at all receptive. Open arms indicate interest, openness, and the student wants to engage in your teaching. Hand to chin, cheek, indifferent boredom gesture. As I said, teachers frequently see this body language in the classroom. When they see several students holding their heads up, she should know it's a time to give them a break with a physical activity or an actual break to use the facilities. And if they put their finger in mouth, they feel insecure, nervous, and under some stress or pressure. Now it's time for you to go to them and render your help, care, your encouragement to them. The next important thing is you can use your body language to communicate with your students without even opening your mouth. Yes, body language of a teacher can allow to maintain the flow of a lesson. Having to pause what you're teaching to tell a student to be quiet, it ruins the lesson for everyone. Everyone get disturbed. Teacher can become distracted. She loses her chain of thoughts, and at the end she loses control of the entire class. So through her body gesture, teacher keeps the lesson going on while moving around the classroom. If she goes near to the talkative person, she can pat and can bring the child back to the task. And now she doesn't have to stop her lessons, because the student will likely get back to the task without being totally told verbally. As an experienced teacher will probably practice the art of communicating through nods, hand gestures, eye contact, and a class-wide signal to be quiet, like raising your hands. And there are even subtle ways that body language can help to encourage responses from the students. For example, a hand on the chin indicates that, yeah, you're waiting for the answers from the students, and this will encourage your students to take a second brainstorm. According to National Education Association, holding your hands out, palm up, communicates that you are open to the questions. It also shows that you will answer them in an encouraging manner. When your hands do the talking, no other tools have been more important in human evolution and among all species than our hands. There are more nerves connected between our hands and brain than any other part of our body. That makes our hand capable of the most expressiveness. When it comes to speaking in body language, our hand gestures, of course, easy way to read. The hand gesture gives us the impression of being capable and knowledgeable. Hands are our trust indicator. That means when other people can't see our hands, they have a trouble in trusting us. Whenever teachers are teaching in the class, in front of the classroom or in front of the camera, teachers should always make sure that their hands are visible. Keep them out of your pocket. Never put them behind your back or under the desk. And when you're on the camera, be sure to get your whole body in one shot. Hand chop used while speaking to emphasize. Like the teacher doesn't have to repeat the important topic or the important statement or sentences again. She can use this. This is called hand chopping to emphasize on the topic. The students will get used to your body language also. That yes, if the teacher is doing like this is something very important. This hand gesture is called steepling. Steepling occurs when someone is typically feeling confident and in charge. So, when you are speaking to the students and not using chalk or a blackboard, then you can speak like this. This shows the teacher is confident, well knowledgeable, well prepared. And if you are listening to them, you can put it inward or means downward. You should never keep your hands back. This shows superiority, and children get intimidated. They get scared to approach you, and it seems that you don't care and you look unapproachable. Praise with your whole body. Nod your head. Give thumbs up. Raise hands in excitement. Show them that they are on the right path. They will be more confident and will trust you. Eyes. Eyes are the windows to the soul. Looking straight into students' eyes create a positive relationship with them. Teachers can especially maintain a good eye contact while emphasizing important topics. Eye contact is also something considered because important because it makes a student feel that the teacher is with them. Longer eye contact is associated with trust, good feelings, and good rapport. But at the same time, we must be aware too much of eye contact can be intimidating for the student who is shy. A single fleeting look across the classroom can speak volumes. Eye contact produces a powerful subconscious sense of connection between the students. Now, it has three parts. When you're addressing to the students, when you're talking to an individual student, or when you're listening to someone. So, if you're talking to a group, it is to a group or to the class, it is very, very important to make eye contact with most of the children. I know it becomes difficult to make eye contact with each one of them, but I just would like to suggest that select 3 4 students from the left side, 3 4 students from the center, 3 4 students from the right side, and whenever you start a new sentence, just look right, center, left, right, center, right, left, center, left. So this way you'll be able to will be able to make eye contact with everyone, because when you make eye contact with 1 or 2 students, then the other students they feel that nobody cares for us, that the teacher is not making eye contact, she's not interested in us, then they shows disinterest, they are disengaged in what is being taught to them. So it's a good idea to make eye contact, start from right, center, left, or left, center, right. When you're talking to an individual, when you're talking to a student, it is great to maintain eye contact when you're talking. However, it can become a bit uncomfortable if the teacher constantly staring at the student. To combat this, he should be given some break, some breather should be given to the student, maybe 5 seconds. When you break the eye contact with your student, don't look down, because the student will think that you have ended the conversation. Instead, look right or left as if you are in a thinking process. The student will understand that my teacher is still into the conversation with me. Next is listening to someone. When we listen to the student, it can be off putting if we keep staring at the student continuously. So, in this case, I can suggest follow inverted triangle technique. It is 5 seconds you can see on the right side, 5 seconds on the left side, and 5 seconds on the mouth. This is not necessary that you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It becomes your habit. What I mean to say is 5 seconds this side, 5 seconds this side, this side. So if you continuously keep eye contact with the student will get conscious and he won't be able to open up with you. So they say teachers can use eye contact very effectively for the enhancement and achievement of students' learning outcomes. The next comes the smile. The difference smile can make. This one is easy. It is a mood changer. It evokes warm feelings between the teacher and the students. And it makes the communication very easy and persuasive. Due to the facial expressions of the teachers, many difficult concepts are very well clarified to the student. As a result, they take interest in teaching learning process. Smile can relax your students. So this help them to learn more effectively and behave better too. Children equate the smiles of the teacher with kindness, humor, and positivity. So, plenty of teachers' smile can dramatically alter the student's mindset, their outlook, their approach, and their perspectives. Smiling can lift moods with little effort. And smiling leads to laughter, and classes full of laughter is the best place to be in. Now, the difference you can make about the fake smile or the genuine smile is this is called Duchenne marker. When you smile, your eyes, around your eyes, wrinkles are formed. This is the genuine smile. When your cheeks goes up and your wrinkles are formed, that is called feet also. So this is the genuine smile. But if those wrinkles are not formed around the eyes and there's a smile on the lips, is a fake one. Somebody's trying to be polite with you. So the final thought is don't worry that children never listen to you. Worry that children are always watching you. Children are vibrational. They easily receive and sense teacher's aura, her majesty, and the teacher's rule expressed through her movements and manners are conversational. They speak a lot about the teacher. Her body language speaks so much. Even when you're not talking to them, they can make perceptions about you. Body language is an often overlooked component of effective teaching. Notice your posture, tone of voice, facial expressions, and gestures. Teacher can use them to increase engagement, connection, and confidence, to foster communication and provide explanation and can easily manage her classroom. Effective teacher used body language to communicate with students, build rapport with them, and make them feel safe and supported. Just ask few questions. The teachers can ask few questions to themselves. Do your nonverbal cues project warmth, enthusiasm, compassion, and openness? Do you encourage participation? Do you acknowledge students when they speak or raise their hands and they lower their eyes? Teachers inspire their students to begin the new chapter of their lives. Teachers put their heart and soul to this profession. They're the lighthouses for the students. So before I end my session, I would like to share an incident happened with Taylor Mali, an American slam poet who was a teacher also. Since his name was Taylor Mali, so people pronounce it as Taylor, Taylor. But his friends, they used to make fun of his by calling him Taylor. The spelling is Tailor, since both Taylor sound same. So one of his friends, in a humorous manner, he asked Taylor, "Hey Taylor, what do you make?" Since Taylor was a teacher, he replied, "I make differences in the lives of my students because I am a teacher." So teachers make differences in the lives of their students. They make the children wonder, observe, question, criticize, apologize, read, and write. No other profession on this Mother Earth would have been possible without a guru. So a big salute to all the educators, teachers, the trainers who dedicate their life in educating and inspiring students. So thank you so much, everyone. So this final thought I would like to share again. Don't worry that the children never listen to you. Worry that they are always watching you. They are very impressionable. They perceive you, they judge you, and they observe you. So be aware of your language, body language. Make sure that you use positive, appropriate body language to connect with the student, to create a positive, everlasting impression. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for that really meaningful insight into the importance of body language in teaching. I think you did not leave out on any aspect. And right from your hands on displays, right from your personal experiences to different
Yes,
examples from day to day life, I think you have really thrown light upon every possible area of body language. And
that's why my pride, my
I'm reminded of one quote that says that body language, you can tell a lot by someone's body language, says Harvey Walter. And also, another important saying is that effective communication depends much more on your tone of voice and body
yes,
language
ma'am.
than the
Yeah,
words
absolutely.
you say. And
Yes,
as
ma'am.
you said windows are the eyes to the soul.
Soul,
And
yeah,
I can also add on to that and say that the body language holds the key to your soul. It
yeah,
really, the entire
absolutely.
body language holds the key that can open your soul to the people. And once you are
Absolutely.
open hearted, you know, a different world lies ahead of you. And
Abs-
very beautifully, you have said, I hope our educators, our mentors, our teachers have, very seriously heard you. They have listened to you. That how important is their presence in the class. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
really, a teacher doesn't need a blackboard. She
No,
doesn't need any hands on, she doesn't need a teaching aid because she herself is a living teaching aid. Her
absolutely.
gestures,
Absolutely.
her expressions, her nods, her smile. And I think you will agree with me. We all have been, idol worshippers in the sense
Yes,
that our teachers have been our role models. You know,
absolutely.
we have idolized our teachers so much that we have tried to imitate them. Sometimes at home, sometimes in the classes. Sometimes our teachers know that we have copied them, we have imitated them. So much is
Absolutely,
the
ma'am. Absolutely. It's been 18 years, ma'am. And still, being having so much of experience, I still imitate my teachers, how they used to
definitely.
teach me. Yeah,
And as we grow up, we pass out from the school. The role of a teacher doesn't stop,
it
because
isn't.
somewhere in your subconscious mind also those things remain. And we, portray whatever we have caught on in our growing
Yeah,
years. Then we go to
yeah,
colleges, we go to universities, and we imbibe what we are seeing. And let me tell you, this is the teacher who is professionally a teacher. Let us not forget the teacher who happens to be our first teacher, and that she's our mother. And
mother.
mother
Yeah,
happens to be our first teacher, our first
hmm,
role model, whom we
yes,
observe, and we have a
hmm,
different connect. So, as parents, we have a very important role to play. Our body language at home also is very important because this
yes,
home is the first school of the
yeah,
child,
yeah,
and parents happen to be the first teachers. So the
yes, ma'am.
teaching begins from there. And
Yes,
everything that a child is, and as you said, don't worry that the children are not listening to you. Always
worried
worry that they
that
are
they're
watching
watching you.
you, they are
Yes,
observing you. Those pair of eyes, even when we think, oh, the child, is engrossed. No, the
yeah, no,
child is the most keen observer. And
yeah,
knowingly or unknowingly, the child is watching our every action, our every mood. Even a little nod conveys a lot.
yeah, a lot.
The
Absolutely,
twitch,
ma'am.
the twitch of an eyebrow,
Yeah,
the
ex-
corners of the lip, everything the
yeah,
child
everything.
understands. So we
Yeah,
have an immense responsibility to shoulder. We have an
yes,
immense responsibility. We just can't take ourselves for granted, doing
no,
anything anytime, because
yeah,
we are trying to mold and shape the young generation into future leaders. So I
absolutely.
think all of us have had a wonderful takeaway from your session, many wonderful takeaways, and all our viewers have been very, very appreciative of your talk. And
Thank you,
there
ma'am.
are lovely positive comments like so inspiring. I'll read them out to you. Totally agree. Great insight. Very well delivered. So informative. everything. And such expertise. So I think we all agree with it that the session has been just a wonderful and amazing session. And the only thing is that we need to implement what we have
Hmm.
heard.
Yes.
These days are the days of soft skills, and soft
Yes.
skills and body language are, you cannot do without these, because even when after schooling we are going into the age when we are professionally looking for new avenues, and right from the time we enter the door for our interviews, I think we are
Yeah.
scanned.
Yes, of course. Bilkul.
We are
Hmm.
absolutely scanned. So,
That is why, I started with the appearance, because
yeah,
appearance and
appearance,
body
your
language,
grooming,
that, and
your grooming.
because, yeah, appearance, grooming, and body language,
Very
all three
important
important
roles.
components
The
of image.
postures, the gestures,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
expressions,
yeah.
everything is very important.
Everything very
So,
good.
just one or two questions, ma'am, we would be glad if you
Yes.
take.
Yeah.
Uh, a student who is not that aware of what we are talking about in the initial years, that is the primary years, what suggestion do you have for the teachers as well as the parents, how to make them understand the relevance of body language?
Ma'am, it is that the whole session I said this only. The teacher has to be careful when she uses her body language, because her body language will only make the child more comfortable, and he'll be able to understand the teacher only if the teacher tries to use the appropriate body language.
Yeah,
Some
I
children, the,
agree to that. I
yeah,
agree, and thank you
huh,
so much
huh,
for that answer.
huh,
But
huh.
like, what message do you have? Like, all the time we tell the child, walk like this, child, sit straight,
No, ma'am,
don't run.
what he
Yeah,
sees is going to adapt that only.
yeah.
So
But
the
then
parents will be the,
how do we convey to the child? Like, well, how do we make, because the child doesn't understand that this term is body language. So
no, he will
what
not.
is the right?
Yes, ma'am, he will not understand. Even if you try to make him understand, he will not understand. It is that only that you use it. Please motivate the parents to use the proper body language or the positive body language, and he will get in used to all these postures, gestures, movement, smile, everything. And I'm sure after some time he will be the master of the best body language, because he's seeing his teacher, he's seeing his parents following or acknowledge correctly the body language. So I think only the way you conduct in front of your child or in front of your student, you don't have to tell him what is body language, how to define it. He will not understand. It is how you project yourself, how parents project themselves in front of the student. He will adapt that, he will get used to that body language, and he'll master all the good appropriate body language.
Thank you so much. I hope the parents and teachers have heard that it is not important to, force anything upon the child. That is what
No,
ma'am
nothing.
means. You don't have to
Mm.
force it. You don't have to, time and again reinforce the idea. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's the way you carry yourself. We have to be
just
very particular.
just one more thing, ma'am, I'll tell you with experience. Like
Yes.
the on Sundays, like it's a rest day for the parents, for the mother, father. And if the child has an exam, right, and the parents, both mother and father, they are telling the child, uh, keep studying, go and sit down on your table, go and sit down on your table, and you have to study, you have exam tomorrow. And the father is in his kurta pajama, and he's behaving as a lethargic person, and the mother is also in an improper dress, she is also just roaming around. So the child will have this thing in mind, that it's a Sunday, so why should I study when my father is enjoying the day, my mother is just roaming around and just having fun. So you have to be the role model. If you want your child to study, he has to take bath and he has to sit to study, then you have to be properly dressed up. Please maintain your body language, and this will give boost the confidence to the child. Yes, I have an exam tomorrow, I have to prepare myself. So inside only, the confidence will come and he will learn. So by
Yeah,
seeing,
so that's the message that ma'am has for our dear parents. I hope you're listening. That do not take things for granted. Don't take life too casually, because just like the way we are doing, our children tend to take after us. And then later
yes,
on, it's too late to make them understand. Well, this is not the right way, and that's the right way.
yes,
So I hope
absolutely.
we have heard about it. Now, ma'am, and what are the different challenges? that we as parents and teachers can face while, trying to imbibe these kind of language, body language skills in our children? What kind of challenges do you think face us, and how do you overcome them?
Okay, ma'am, if I talk about the senior classes, like if I talk
Yes,
about the senior classes, there's a globalization, the world has come together. So they should be taught, or they should be given this much of information that, every culture has a different sign language, right? So if they go abroad for studying after graduation or after their schooling, and if they have friends from different countries, they're studying with them, so they should be told that some signs are applicable, are considered to be okay in our culture, but not in the other culture. Like if you say this to
absolutely.
other culture, they might take offense. And if you
Okay.
say like this, and I don't remember the country, but if you say this is a really very offensive, because this means that you have five fathers. So the one has to be very very conscious about these senior students. They have to be very very conscious about the cultural uh, background also, and their sign also. So, and I'm sorry, you said that how we should convey to the students with the appropriate languages, am I right?
Yes, yes, yes. What are the different challenges that come? Where these days children don't want to listen to things. So how do you get that message across? How the relevance of this body language, the importance, how important it is. This the child needs to understand.
Ma'am, instead of telling the child in between and correcting him again and again, this is what we discussed in the previous question also. Instead of this, we all have to be aware of our body language, our image, because our image is very important. As I said, these children, they are very impressionable. They what they see, and sometimes teachers, they say that in my class the child doesn't behave properly, and in my class the children they shout, and the other teacher says, no, in my class they are okay. How you are presenting yourself, what the way your image is being projected or reflected to the students is very important. Because these children, they will just perceive you by just looking at you. So the same thing in the first question also, the same thing is, you have to be very very careful as a teacher, as a mother, as a trainer, how you project your image, because image is an important part of human existence. It is your visual resume, I say, because
Yeah,
it stays.
absolutely taken.
Yeah, so these are the
Absolutely
challenges. So they have to
taken.
work on their appearance, on their body languages and all. I
Absolutely
hope.
taken, ma'am.
uh,
But these days, we see that our young generation is very much influenced by their peers, right?
yeah.
Sometimes the kind of things that they are imbibing from their friends, from their peers, they are not ready to listen to the teachers and parents. So, what is the kind of message that you wish to give?
Ma'am, what I feel personally is, even if they listen to their peer or their friends and everything, but still, they come back to the house
Yeah,
and they trust their teacher, they trust their mothers. So you have to make a good connection with your child, with your student, and make sure that he feels safe, he's open to you, and he trusts you, that you are guiding him in a right direction. So I am 100% sure, even if he listen to his friends or whatever it is, for one day he listen to them, but I'm sure with your values, with your teaching, with you projecting as a perfect mother or a teacher in front of the student, they will listen to you in a long run. So just trust yourself that you are showing them the correct direction.
that's a beautiful answer. Thank you so much for it. That was a very positive note that you said, that you trust yourself. If I
Yeah,
have
trust.
honestly done something great, if I have honestly done my best, whether it, as a teacher or as a mother, then I need to be confident that fine, for a time, maybe for some time, the child has drifted.
Yes,
But at the end
but
of
he
the
will
day, the
come.
child comes back home, child goes back
Yes.
to the teacher, and doesn't
Yes,
forget those particular things that he's learning and picking up on the way. So
absolutely, ma'am.
that was just a very beautiful positive note that ma'am has given us and motivated us. So all those who feel that no, there is a cause for disappointment, no, there is no
No.
cause for disappointment. Trust yourself and trust the process, right, ma'am? Trust the
Yes,
process.
absolutely. Yes,
And
trust
there
the
is no
process.
reason, there is
Yeah,
no reason
reason.
why we won't see the good side of everything. So,
Yes,
on that
the good.
note, a very, very big thank you from our side, ma'am, for such an
Thank you so
uh,
much.
interesting, for such a lively and thought provoking session. And thank you, dear viewers, for being there, for encouraging us, and for patiently going through the session. Thank you to those viewers also who will be eventually seeing the session and will have, I can assure you, you will have wonderful takeaways from here. And stay blessed, everybody. Have a lovely evening.
Thank
Stay
you so
blessed.
much, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much
much,
for
ma'am.
having me.